Oh, wow. I'm in this turret alone. And I'm back. Oh, goodness. Well, hello, traitors and faithful alike, and welcome to The Cup TV, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea into reality, and you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm Logan Murphy. Say something gay. Gay. Today I am drinking some fabulous Ardor Energy, not sponsored, but I would love to be sponsored. This is the Mexican lime flavor, and it's pretty good. I'm not mad at it. I'm not upset at it in the slightest little bit. But if I was drinking out of anything else, of course it would be in a cup mug. And you could get your own cup mug, as well as all of our other merch at lanagcreations.etsy.com. Link is down in that description below, and we do ship internationally and domestically within the United States, so there are no excuses. We're looking at Traitors fans today, because I'm here. It's just me, party of one, just me this week to talk all things Traitors US. It is the penultimate episode of the Traitors US for the season. 11 episode season, kind of weird, whatever. But yeah, I'm going to dive into our penultimate episode. We have, some lovely eliminations to discuss, some not so lovely eliminations to discuss, and a lot of other wonderful, fabulous, great stuff. So we're going to dive into all of that. Before we do, though, make sure to subscribe if you have not already, because we are here almost all the time, giving you almost all things reality TV. We've got a lot of other reality TV on the horizon here shortly. So make sure to subscribe. We've got a double dose of Survivor happening for a little bit. We've got Australian Survivor, we've got Deal or No Deal Island, and we will be finishing out this season of Traitors next week. So make sure to subscribe. We've got 2 other channels as well with almost all things almost all things drag and almost all things Eurovision Song Contest, and both those channels are heating up as well. So make sure to go subscribe over there. Yeah, let's dive in. We come in from last week. Kate is officially a traitor, which, hey, I love. I'm so excited to see Kate as a traitor. I mean, it's what she wanted from the beginning, so I'm very excited that she is getting her opportunity to be a little traitorous. Kevin was murdered, and we are left on a good old cliffhanger, honey. They gave us a good cliffhanger. It was a tied vote between Peter and Phaedra in this banishment vote. And we were waiting on what MJ was going to do. Who was she going to vote for? All that lovely stuff. And so we go right into the episode, and we find out that MJ has cast her deciding vote in this banishment vote against Peter. And I, for one, was very thrilled. I have not been a Peter fan this season. I've made that very, very clear on the podcast that I've been on. Not a huge Peter fan. So I was thrilled to, see Peter taken out of the game. Trishelle and John and Peter were all gobsmacked. They were gooped. They thought they had the votes because CT voted with them against Phaedra, and I was like, no, not my favorites. But also, I don't know if any of y'all saw the tea, but allegedly the person that Peter's dating, oh Lord, not Ekin-Su. Not Ekin-Su. And she's allegedly about to go into the fucking Celebrity Big Brother house. So, like, how is this relationship gonna work when she's on Celebrity Big Brother for a whole month? I don't know. I don't see this lasting. I'm gonna be real honest with y'all. I don't see this lasting. If it is real, I don't know if it's real, but I'm very thankful that Peter is gone. Obviously, we know he's a faithful. They found out he's a faithful. MJ said that there was just way more evidence going in his direction than in the other direction. So Peter reveals that he's a faithful, and the contingent of John, CT, and Trishelle are like, well, we know that Phaedra is a traitor. Like, it's pretty. I mean, unfortunately, the writing was just kind of on the wall this episode. There's not a whole lot Phaedra could have done. I think there's one move that Phaedra could have made that would have maybe deflected a little bit, but it was kind of like the writing was on the wall, unfortunately. MJ wanted to talk to John and CT after the roundtable. They're not having it. John is 100% convinced he is the next one murdered. Spoiler, he is. And CT thinks that, the Bravo girlies are trying to play it nice, so they either get like invited to be a traitor or, they'll make it to the end of the game. It's an interesting strategy, seeing how, the Bravo women have kind of banded together, and they ended up being, the strongest alliance. I mean, they lost Larsa very early on, but they gained Kate, and so it's kind of this like Bravo contingent versus the world, which is not at all what we saw in season 1. So it's a really interesting shift of dynamics. And I think if there are Bravo people, specifically housewives, on season 3 of Traitors, then I definitely think it's going to be, it's not going to be good for them. I just don't think it's going to be good for them. I am excited for season 3 of Traitors. I'm interested if it ends up being all celebrity again, if it's half and half. I'm really curious to see what the dynamic is going to be there. But let's talk about this turret. We've got Phaedra and Kate up in the turret. They have to murder someone. And the options on the table for them are John, Trishelle, and now CT, because of CT voting against Phaedra. I honestly think all of these votes were pretty, like, I don't think any of these were the right vote. I'm going to be really honest. I understand the logic of trying to take out more people that are against Phaedra, but it's just, I don't know that Phaedra realized the position that she was in. And I think, I love Phaedra, and I've loved Phaedra on this season. I just think ever since Parvati was banished, and she didn't really have anyone with a very strategic mind or a very social strategic mind working with her, I think the first part of her game on this season was absolutely spectacular. I think she navigated around, the Dan and the Parvati of it all very, very well. Unfortunately, I feel like the second half of her game was very, very loose and very messy, because I really think that of the people available, I really think that they should have taken this opportunity to get out MJ. Because I think MJ, and obviously MJ becomes the catalyst for a lot of the vote against Phaedra that we saw in this episode. But I think this would have been the perfect opportunity. Get Peter out and then try to swing it on. I also don't think necessarily that they should have murdered Kevin last episode. I was happy to see it because I didn't really love Kevin as a character personally, but that's just me. I found him like a twinge misogynistic at times, but whatever. If they were thinking smartly, I think to deflect off of yourself, you have to get rid of some of your people, like, quote unquote, on your side. And at this point, Phaedra was never going to get rid of Sheree. I don't think she would have gotten. I think CT might have been the other option that I think would have been a smart option. That gets rid of, most of the money winning potential, especially in this episode. I'll talk about it. But I think deflecting off of herself, because no one's suspecting Kate. And I honestly think at this point, and I'll talk about it at the end, I think Kate's going on to probably win the season. And I'm not all that bad at it, but I don't think anyone's just really suspecting Kate all that much. I think what Phaedra should have done in this scenario is, I think she should have either murdered MJ or CT to try to shift the target onto probably Trishelle. I think Trishelle might have been the easiest person for her to shift the target onto. Either that, or unfortunately, as much as I wouldn't have liked this, unfortunately, it probably would have been Sandra. I think Sandra's been playing a fantastic game this season, though. And she really got in with everybody, which was her strategy. It's what she wanted to do. She wanted to make genuine connections as soon as she found out she was a faithful. So, I mean, I think Sandra's been doing a really, really great job here. But I think an MJ or a CT murder kind of would have thrown things up in the air. I think it would have provided a little bit of a shield for Phaedra. I don't know. I feel like the same result might have still ended up happening, unfortunately. But I think it would have been a closer vote than it was. But Phaedra and Kate do end up deciding they're going to murder John because he is a very smooth talker. He's very good at round tables. And as much as I do agree, I'm really sad to see John go. I've really enjoyed getting to know John in this season. I think his personality is really lovely. Again, I don't know anything about his political leanings, so if that's, an issue, whatever. I don't personally know anything about that. But the character of John on this show, I've really, really enjoyed. He's provided a lot of comedic relief. I've been frustrated with John. I've been excited with John. His whole moment with Parvati in that one challenge, and then going back and kind of backstabbing Parvati that day, I thought was really, really kind of iconic. And yeah, I'm sad to see John go. I'm sad. I didn't want to see him go home. It's very sad. Now, before the mission, we see Sandra and Phaedra. I love this. They're off playing oversized chess, which Sandra talked about. Basically, just they were playing checkers, but with chess pieces, which I think is very funny. I love this oversized chessboard. I think it's a really nice, visual touch to, the castle and everything. But having them off to the side gave the rest of the Bravo women an opportunity to talk. And MJ is pretty much just lays down the law and goes, MJ goes, Sheree, you have to vote out Phaedra tonight, right? It's kind of just we all know that it's Phaedra. It's Sheree is really still. This episode is a lot of nothing and everything, and the main storyline of this episode is: will Sheree still believe Phaedra? Because it kind of became very obvious very, very quickly that Phaedra was going to get banished. It's just kind of a matter of whether Sheree was going to vote with Phaedra or vote with the group. And MJ, trying to prove that point to Sheree, is talking about how Phaedra is really good at maintaining her cool in stressful situations. I mean, yeah, obviously she's a lawyer. Hello. I think MJ recognizes that because she's in similar fields. And so I think she recognizes how dangerous Phaedra has been throughout the entire game. Sheree is still kind of hesitant. Kate, at this point, is still trying to defend Phaedra, and so she kind of throws out the only other name that she can, which in this case is Sandra. And, that's not really working. It's kind of, it feels a little desperate from Kate's side. I really don't know why Kate would have thrown out Sandra's name here. I get it as a point to save Phaedra, because at this moment she's still trying to save Phaedra from getting banished. I think, again, if Kate had a little bit more of a social strategic mind and a mind for the traitors, which she should, because this is her second time playing. Mind you, this is her first time as a traitor, so I get it for sure. But if I'm in Kate's position, I'm kind of just going along with what everyone is saying, because that information is not going to get back to Phaedra. No one really trusts Phaedra at this point. The only person that's really giving Phaedra information is Sheree, and I feel like Sheree would probably throw MJ under the bus in this scenario as opposed to Kate. So I think if Kate was a little bit more socially aware, I don't know that she needs to throw out Sandra's name. Trishelle and CT think they're the only ones voting for Phaedra. Who knows? Trishelle decides to go outside and confront MJ, Sheree, and Kate. And this is like the awkwardest confrontation ever because Trishelle is like, well, why are you all keeping Phaedra safe? And MJ's like, well, I'm not intentionally trying to keep a traitor. And there's no way in hell that I'd let a traitor win the game, regardless of who it was. Mind you, Kate is standing right there. And I think it would be so funny if the final two was Kate and MJ. I think that would be so funny. Honestly, I'd be so here for it. And then this leads us into the mission, which is, you know, a mission we just saw on Traitors UK as well. Obviously, they did the challenge much better on that one, but that one it was also teams, so it was a bit of a different. I think it was like 6-person teams or something like that, and it was when they were saving Andrew out of the dungeon. That was that whole tea. But in this scenario, there's only 7 of them. There's gold nuggets in this mound of dirt. And there's also 1 shield. And this challenge was absolutely abysmal, with the exception of CT and Trishelle. And I'm really not surprised because CT and Trishelle are, you know, they're challengers. This is a kind of challenge you would see on the challenge. So I was not surprised by how abysmally all of the other women did. But everyone's also looking for a shield. MJ eventually finds the shield, and most of the 20 minutes that they had for the challenge was figuring out whether MJ would actually be able to make it across one time. She only had to make it across one time to get the shield in. And she does it one time with 10 seconds to spare. And I'm just like, girl, what are you doing? Like, huh? For what reason? For what reason? Girl, for what reason? No. No. She keeps falling and she keeps falling. Phaedra keeps falling and keeps falling. Sheree, I think, attempted once. And then by the end of the challenge, it's literally just all of the Bravo women standing around while CT and Trishelle are just like doing the challenge. You know, it's whatever. There was I think there was a possible 30,000, and they ended up getting 28,350, which is kind of really impressive for only 2 people doing it. And they brought the current pot standings. I did not realize it was this high. I didn't realize there was this much money already banked. They have $158,100, which I think is very impressive on the season. They got a good chunk last week with the crossbow challenge as well. So, hey, good on you. Good on you. So we go back to the castle. And Sandra is telling Trishelle and Sheree, she knows it's Phaedra. This vote is very straightforward. But Kate is, at this point, is still really trying to sway anybody away from Phaedra. And Kate's logic here is that if they know that it's Phaedra, why don't we save Phaedra as a vote for the final day? And instead we should go after someone that we like have less of a suspect on now, just to see like if they are, you know, a traitor or not. And in that names Sandra again as that person. Now I understand where Kate's coming from. She's trying to save her girl. I think she did too much. I think she did too much in trying to convince this. I think she really just needed to let Phaedra go, because now people are looking at Kate. People weren't looking at Kate prior, but now people are looking at Kate. And I'm a little frustrated for her because I really think she could have just let Phaedra go and it wouldn't have been that big of an issue. But now there are people that are looking at Kate, specifically people like MJ, people like CT, and people like Sandra. And I do love that when Kate is trying to talk to MJ and CT, Sandra comes outside and decides to be a part of the conversation. And Kate is like, well, we really should. Kate is continuing with her argument. And Sandra's like, well, then who should we vote? And she's like, I really just don't know. I really don't know. And I'm like, girl, Kate, if Kate ends up getting banished next, I wouldn't be surprised. Honestly. Like, it would not surprise me in the slightest if Kate got banished. Because I just think she's doing too much. And at this point, there are very few people that could be a traitor at this point. I think Kate, obviously, I think there's an argument that people could make for Sandra. And that's about it, honestly. And I think maybe an argument for CT and maybe an argument for Trishelle. But that's about it, honestly. We also get a discussion. We have a discussion with Sheree and Phaedra. And we get a rehashing of the Sheree and Phaedra story, which, hey, sure. Sheree's like, I've known Phaedra for 30 years. I am having a hard time believing Phaedra, or not believing Phaedra. And Sheree asks her point blank, are you a traitor? And Phaedra's exact reply is, no, I'm not. And I think she was honestly trying to signal to Sheree, like, it's me. I can't tell you directly it's me, but like, Phaedra, and I love Phaedra. I'm going to say it again. Love Phaedra. I think she kind of saw that the writing was on the wall here, and there wasn't a whole lot she could really do about it. And so, you know, we go to the round table. It's evidence against Phaedra, evidence against Phaedra, evidence against Phaedra. Phaedra, is doing her best to go against it. MJ's talking about how she didn't think Phaedra's a traitor, but it's in her disposition to handle the pressure. Sandra is really upset if, Phaedra is a traitor because they built such a good friendship and all the signs were there about it. Phaedra's argument here is that there's really nothing concrete against her, which, I mean, to an extent is correct. And, it's just a little frustrating. It was kind of just, and then at one point, Phaedra just kind of gives up. And she's like, it gets to the point where you're tired of fighting. And that's the moment that Kate was kind of just like, well, if she's not going to fight for herself, I'm not going to fight for her. And, Alan calls the room. They vote. It's a unanimous vote against Phaedra, and Phaedra Parks is unfortunately banished. As someone who, has followed bits and pieces, I wouldn't say I've followed Phaedra's entire reality TV career, but as someone that has followed bits and pieces of her career, I do have such a strong respect for Phaedra. I think she's such a strong, beautiful, and resilient woman. And I'm really happy that I got to see her, on a show that I love here. I was very thrilled when she got cast. I'm hopeful that more housewives will get cast because I think the housewives bring such an interesting dynamic into the traitor game. And I really, really enjoy it. I've really enjoyed watching Phaedra. And she went out saying she's the most fabulous, faithful traitor. The votes on Phaedra were nothing but, positive and lovely. Except for Kate. And Kate was kind of rude. I'm not gonna lie. Phaedra didn't take it personally, which I'm glad she didn't. But Kate was a little rude. I'm not gonna lie. And then I did love that CT was saying that she's the best traitor we've ever seen. I think, as far as US traitors are concerned, I think currently it's Cirie. It's going to stay Cirie for me. I think Phaedra is a very close second, on that list. And I would honestly say Parvati is a very close third on that list. I think the women that have been traitors on the US version so far in 2 seasons have done really, really well. I think Kate will probably get added to that list. I just need to see what she does in this last episode. But I'm very happy to have seen Phaedra on this season. I think Phaedra added a lot of, memeable moments, and she provided me a lot of entertainment. And so I'm really happy to see that she was on the season. I'm sad to see her go here, but the writing was on the wall. It was kind of, Dan kind of set her up. And that's that for Miss Phaedra Parks. And she went out fabulously. Her giant puffy sleeves, I thought were so fabulous. But yes, Phaedra has been banished. And we're left with the final 6. And there is the consensus amongst the final 6 that there has to be at least one traitor left. Kate, as we see going into the final episode, Kate is really going to try to get, the target onto Sandra. Sandra here is more concerned with how Kate called Phaedra selfish in her gameplay. And, I hope that this means that Sandra's going to come after Kate and get rid of Kate. Because my best case scenario at this point, at the end of the season, I don't know. I think a Kate win would be very fun. I think a Kate win would be very nice. I just wish Kate had been introduced into the season earlier. It would feel a little, I guess the right word to use for it is cheap, if Kate were to come in mid-season and win. But I think if there are 3 people that really deserve the win based on gameplay as far as faithfuls are concerned, I would really personally like to see a 3-way win between Sandra, MJ, and CT. I think those are the 3 people that have provided the entertainment. They've added to the prize fund in a very lovely way this season, mostly CT. Have provided strategic entertainment, have provided entertainment on the show. I mean, MJ holding her pants in that awkward moment is going to go down as one of the best moments of this season. And, I'm very excited to go into next week, into the finale, to see what ends up happening here. It might just be a blowout for the faithful, and I would not be mad at a faithful win. At this point, I really wouldn't, because I don't think none of the traitors this season have played a spectacular game. And Kate was kind of really only in the season when she became a traitor, which I even still disagree with that decision. I don't think Phaedra should have, I don't think she should have blackmailed Kate. I think she should have blackmailed Trishelle, but that's just me. So, with all that being said, this is a cute little podcast today. Obviously, I'm by myself, so I don't have any, talking points to go off of with anybody else, but let us know in the comments down below. What did you think of this episode? Are you sad to see Phaedra go? Because I know we all are. I can speak for everybody who's been on the panel for Traitors so far this season in saying that, we're all a little disappointed that Phaedra is gone, but she provided so much entertainment for us, and we greatly appreciate her for that. Make sure to subscribe here, because like I said, we've got a lot of reality TV content coming down the pipeline very soon. And we'll be back next week, same time, same place. Hopefully more people to talk about the finale of the Traitors. We will have a winner or winners, so we'll see what happens. Make sure to go subscribe to both of our other channels as well, for Almost All Things Drag and Almost All Things Eurovision Song Contest. If you want to become a member of the channel as well and join the tea room, make sure to go check out our members channel available over on our main channel or on Patreon. Same content, different platform. We've got a lot of fun content coming down the pipeline for you all. Potentially some Bravo content. I don't know. Let us know. Do you want us to cover old Housewives seasons? There is, the potential for that. So let us know there. Make sure to follow our socials as well at The Cut Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. You could go follow me down below. My link is down there. My Twitter's been kind of going on screen the whole time. And you can go get your merch, including but not limited to cup mug, down below as well. And with all that being said, cheers. Bye-bye. So long. Farewell. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Stan Phaedra Parks for clear skin. Uh, is Kate gonna win? Are the traitors gonna outlast her? Well, let's find out.